Hi, I'm Courtney Francis,
And I am Clay Massey.
and for this project, we picked concept sorts and using word sorts using words and different types of pictures.
And we first looked at the emergent stage, and we found the word sorts in the activity that we'll be doing in this stage in our book. And the emergent stage is a period in which young children imitate and experiment with the forms of and functions of print, directionality and distinctive features of print, and the predictability of text and how all these correlate with oral language. And this is actually the first stage, so this activity can be used for kindergarten up to the end of first grade, maybe even in pre-K if you want. You got to make sure they'll be able to sort the two different types of categories based on what they know, so you need to make sure that they know what they're doing before you actually give them an activity. And a word sort can be used at all levels of development as children categorize objects, pictures, words, or phrases.
Some different characteristics of students within the emergent stage include that all students are beginners, just like Clay said. So the students within this stage are going to be beginners within school. They're still going to be learning their sight words, so once they see a sight word, they might not be able to say it right away. So that's one of the reasons that we picked this, is that way we can work with them on that. And then they're going to be working on categorizing words and pictures into the proper categories because, like we said, if the student isn't able to recognize the word at first, hopefully they can recognize the picture and which category it would go into.
So some pros for this type of activity. It can be used at all levels of the development, so you can use it in the emergent stage or any other sort of stage if you want. So it's just a good way for students to organize words that they do know to say seasons like we will be doing, or sports, or however you want to do that. And they can be adapted to individual small groups or the whole class, so you can pretty much pick how you want to do it. I would prefer it to be small group, but you can do it as a whole class. You would have to make sure everyone's staying on task. But with small groups, the children will be more interested in what they're doing.
A couple of the cons for doing the word sorts and picture sorts is that it might be confusing for English language learners to grasp the concept of categorizing words, because we'll show in a further example how we're going to be categorizing different things like summer and winter words. So students might not have the same background knowledge of some of the words or the categories. So let's just say, for example, someone from California and someone from Michigan. They're going to have different background knowledge about what winter is. So the students from California may not understand snow and snowmen and ice and everything the same way someone from Michigan would. So that might be kind of confusing for them. And then students, like I said earlier, may not know the words within the concept. So that's why we're providing the pictures to the students. That way, even if they do not know the words, they can still hopefully put it into the correct category based off the picture.
And this is an example of what our activity will look like. And this on the left here is the seasons, like I mentioned earlier, with summer and winter. And like Courtney said on the previous slide, you need to be careful with how they would identify winter or not. But most likely they will be able to use the pictures over here to sort which ones will go in each category. Like swim will obviously go in the summer, and snow will obviously go in the winter. And you don't need the specific word on there because we're mainly working on just the picture to the category.
So allowing the students to be able to match the picture along with the word, and then the picture and the word together into the category, will not only work on their sense of vocabulary, but also work on the picture recognition. So that's why we did this, since they are all beginners in school. So the different benefits to the students include expanding the students' word knowledge. So since these students are all beginners, being able to give them new knowledge about different words will really be beneficial to them. But it also, since one of the cons earlier was working with English language learners, this is a way to get them involved in verbal interactions. So you definitely want to be able, not just with ELL students, but with all students in beginning stages, you definitely want to get them speaking the words, writing the words, recognizing the words, and connecting them to different things. So that's why we're having them connect it to the picture and to the category. And then also extending interactive read aloud and provide additional exposure to vocabulary for the students.
And some tips you can have for this type of activity. You can make the word sorts relatable to students by finding out their interests. So if a certain group likes sports, or if they are interested in different types of clothing or different types of shoes, anything that you can break up into 2 or 3 different categories for them to put the words or pictures in a specific category. And for the next one, you can laminate the boards and cards so you can reuse them in the future. This will just make them more durable and easier to handle. They won't bend or anything like that. And you can also post the word sorts in the classroom so they're always accessible. I would highly recommend putting them on your word wall and maybe even putting the categories on the word wall as well, just so they'll be able to identify what that word, even though if they won't be able to read that word yet, they can just have that picture of the word with that category, like snow and winter.
So overall, we just picked concept sorts and word sorts using pictures and words for the students because we thought it would go well within the emergent stage, and we thought it would be a good activity that once again you can do with individuals, with whole group, with small group, whatever you would prefer to do with the students. And it's really able to be used at every stage of development. So that's why we picked this activity, and these are the different sources that we used throughout the whole entire project. Thanks for listening, and we hope you implement this in your future classroom.